What did you currently name this decade?
Well, we are actually in the unis right now, which is the unis, the years between 2000 and 2009. But we also have the next decade coming up, which is 2010 to 2019, which is called the Decies.
What inspired you with these two names, to name these two decades?
I don't know what really inspired me to name them, other than I was coming up with a word that really brought the words to the numbers between 0 and 9 together. The numbers between 0 and 9 have never really been grouped other than the single digits. But then you have the opportunity to create a word that's going to make sense. So you can do them collectively, but also sound similar to something like the 20s or the 30s. So we've called it the unis. The inspiration was on my unibrow that joined the two eyebrows together. And ever since, I worked on, finding more ways and finding more useful terms for the unis. As far as the decies, it made the easiest sense to have the decies because the number 10 was 10. You couldn't say the tens or the teens, but the deci, just like a decimal place, is 10. It's a function of 10.
Can you describe further some of your efforts in terms of what you've done to promote these terms?
Well, currently we're working on a couple websites that get people who are fans of the unis. We're coming up with a whole new slogan called I love the unis, I love the decies. You can find ilovetheunis.com, and that's actually I love the 00s. We are going to be going around to different schools and giving out t-shirts and just having fun with it, just trying to get it out there. We ain't trying to do anything we're just trying to have fun with it.
So those are some current ways. What are some past ways?
Past ways that we've named the decades has been anything from videos and different statements, but newspaper articles, magazines, interviews, email blasts, social networking sites. We've used pretty much everything.
And in terms of, give us some details of the interviews or people you've mentioned these terms to, any celebrities or?
Well, I've actually had the opportunity to tell Kelly Clarkson. She heard it. She was at an Outback Steakhouse, and I was working as a waiter in Miami Beach. And her and her friends were there, and I actually had a chance to tell her and her friends what the name of this decade was. She wasn't too interested. She was more interested in the Chocolate Thunder from Down Under. We ran into Carson Daly early in the process. I ran into him in front of the MTV studios. He was, I gave him a bunch of T-shirts. They were our first design. They weren't that good. I ran into Jim Brewer, it was the Goat Boy from MTV. But I ran into him, and he heard about the unis. Sway from MTV, he heard about the unis during the 2004 election in Miami Beach. I ran into him, and I told him about it. I also, me. I mean, I told myself about the unis, and I'm a celebrity.
Where was the idea conceived?
I was in the University of South Carolina. It's the only place you can get away with saying I love cocks. But I was at the University of South Carolina in Columbia. I was sitting at a table right there, and I came up with the idea. I have pictures of it. You can see where I actually thought of the idea. Recently, we just went back there for a reunion about 2 months ago, and we went there to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of naming the decade the unis, but also to celebrate the decies.
And are there any celebrations in the future for the beginning of the decies? What do you have planned there?
Well, currently we're working on a unis and decies cruise with Island Queen Cruises and Biscayne Lady Yacht Charters. We're going to be renting out the whole boat for New Year's. We're going to have everybody giving out T-shirts. We're going to give both the unis and the decies. The reason why is this is the only decade or the only New Year's celebration that you'll have the end of the unis and the beginning of the decies. And since I've coined both those terms, it's only fitting to have a celebration, and especially on the New Year, to bring in to end the unis and begin the decies.
Fort Jefferson National Park, and I love the unis.